that parent, being on the sideline and being unhappy with the coach. Now, if you
Mhm.
recall last season during soccer season, I actually came to you because I was in that situation with my son's team to a certain extent. I was just kind of unhappy with, certain aspects of
Right.
the way things were being coached and all that sort of stuff. And that's because of my personal experience. And again, my goal to especially rec sport is to confidence build and skill build and all that sort of stuff. And I just felt like it wasn't happening. So I approached you and was like, hey, what advice you got for me? Because what do I do about this? I am a coach. I am a coach in soccer, and I feel like I do have every right to step up and go, hey, I don't think this is going right for not only my kid, but the rest.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not my team, So
Yeah.
where's the line? Where's the and do you recall what you said?
I don't recall exactly. I recall the
Okay.
conversation. I don't
Sure.
remember exactly what I said.
It was just basically like, just go talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's kind of how that sounds about right.
yeah, yeah. It's like, and again, it's because you've got the expertise and all that sort of stuff. That's, and we've been coaching together. I felt comfortable coming to you, but you were absolutely right. It was like, just go talk to the guy. It's your child. It's your child's experience. Anybody has the right to approach the coach in a very respectful way and say, hey, I'm concerned about these
Yeah.
sorts of aspects, and what can we do about it? So
Yeah,
um
and and I would say at the rec level, right, is where you
mhm,
have, primarily volunteer parent
yeah,
coaches. And so a lot of times they don't have the background in coaching, for example, right? And
mhm,
so sometimes they just need someone to, give a little constructive feedback. As long as it's coming from the right place, then I think that they're generally pretty open to that, and they know that you're trying to be helpful. When you talk about some of the clubs and you have professional coaches, um, I I take probably a little bit of, talk to the coach, but I take a little bit of a different approach. I want my kids to talk to their coaches about when they have
oh,
problems, because that's a big learning experience I think that they can get as well. Is they
yeah,
need to be able to communicate that. That's part of why we do this, right? Why we
right,
let them be in sports is because we want them to grow as people. And so taking responsibility to be an advocate for themselves is an important thing. So talking to the coach, that's an important thing. But then also I recognize that sometimes it is just about the team they're on, and maybe you need to find a different team. And I say that only because different kids respond to different coaching personalities. I think that they have to learn how um, to execute and do well regardless of the coach. They're going to be in situations in life, like as they go up through like high school or college or something like
or a
that, where
job,
where or
where they
job
could be
or
at
a
a
job,
job with
right?
a
Yeah,
boss. Yeah,
right,
uh-huh.
right, yeah, exactly. Where they're going to have a leader as a personality that they don't necessarily mesh well
Mhm,
with, and they
mhm,
need to learn those skills and know how to operate with that.
yeah,
But at the same time, you also, if your kid's young enough, recognize that certain personalities just aren't right for them. You
right,
know, my son had a coach at one point that he was the real, like, loud, authoritarian style of the traditional um, coach that you think of,
yeah, yeah,
from movies and things like that, right?
right.
And
No crying in
that just,
baseball type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that my son's easygoing personality, that just was not the right kind of coach for him. It
Mhm,
was, um, he would just get anxious, he would overthink things because he wouldn't want to make mistakes, and he didn't feel like he had the freedom to just go out there and play and have fun,
mhm,
and he didn't excel. And then he's had coaching experiences where, a real tactical expert former player that is generally pretty quite tough, like makes them work hard in practices, like
mhm,
works their tails off,
mhm,
but come game time, helps them see what they need to see, but at the same time is really quiet. You don't really hear what they're
yeah,
not directing from the sidelines and calling out mistakes. And he really excelled in that situation. So um, sometimes it's just the personality, right? Because
right,
there's kids that hey, they need that drill sergeant to get
yep.
them fired up to go, and there's other
Mhm.
kids that it just doesn't work.